Hello, my name is Tracy Milliar, and this is my curriculum research project, VodCast. My curriculum is the high scope approach. In this video, I'm going to discuss how the high scope approach differs from early childhood education approaches. I'm going to talk about what it looks like in the classroom. I'm also going to go over the evidence that support that this approach does work. And I'm going to talk about what a classroom setting of the high approach curriculum looks like. All right, so let's get right into it. High scope approaches, they put an emphasis on active participatory learning. What this means is that students have a direct hands-on experience with people and the world around them. Children's choices and interests are the very heart of the high scope approach. In this type of curriculum, they construct their own knowledge through interactions with the world and the people around them. Children, they really take the first step in their learning, and they make choices and decisions, and in high scope, they're required to follow through with the choices and decisions that they make. Teachers and caregivers, they nurture them through building on their learning. They use a scaffolding approach, which builds on what the child already knows. In the high scope learning environment, the teachers, they really do carefully observe the children to make sure that they're understanding the knowledge and what's being taught in the content before they go to the next phase with the child. In high scope approach, they want to make sure that the children are secure and they feel confident on building on what they already know. The high scope education program, it is consistent with the best practices of the National Association for Education of Young Children. It's appropriate for Head Start program standards as well as other guidelines for developmentally based programs. High scope is unique in the way that they differentiate from any other early childhood program. One of the ways that they are unique is their daily plan, do, review sequence. Research shows that planning and reviewing are the two components that are the most positively and significantly associated with a child's scores on measure of developmental process. So this is what high scope is known for. They're known for that three-step sequence, the plan, do, review. Another unique feature that sets high scope from any other learning approach is their curriculum content, organized in 8 main categories. For instance, their categories are approaches to learning, social and emotional development, physical and health, language, literacy and communication, mathematics, creative arts, science and technology, and also social studies. So the goals that the high scope curriculum sets for their students is it's a comprehension educational approach. They strive to help children develop in all areas, and their goals for young children are, what they first want to accomplish is they want them to learn through active involvement with people, materials, events, and ideas. In the high scope approach, another one of their goals is they want them to become independent, responsible, and confident, ready for school and life as well. Their third goal is they want to learn to plan many of their own activities. They want them to carry them out, and they want children to be able to talk with others about what they have done and what they have learned. So that all goes into that plan review process. And lastly, they want children to gain knowledge and skills in important academic, social, and physical areas. So the reason why this approach works is there's a lot of evidence that backs up the high scope approach and why is it effective and how it works. So there's more than over 40 years of research that shows that this approach does work. The programs advance the development of children and improve their chance of living a better life through adulthood. There was a national research with children from different backgrounds has shown that those who attend a high scope program scored higher in measures of development than similar children enrolled in other preschool programs. So one of the researches that High Scope is known for best is called the High Scope Peri-Preschool Project Study. In this study, they compared low-income children who attended the program and low-income children who did not. As adults, the preschool participants, they had a higher graduation rate. They also had higher monthly earnings, and less of them were on welfare, and there were fewer arrests. So this approach, I mean, it was really extensively researched and studies. In addition to that, to benefiting to individuals who attended preschool, these results show that preschool leads to saving taxpayers. For every dollar invested in high quality early childhood education, the society saves $13 in the cost of special education, public assistance, unemployment benefits, and crime. The research also showed that high scope training with teachers and caregivers is highly effective. In a national study, teachers and caregivers with high scope training were higher quality. In high scope, the settings they're carefully chosen and arranged to promote active learning. The materials in the space that are used. High scope, they don't endorse specific types or brands of toys or equipment, but high scope does provide general guidelines for selecting materials that are meaningful and interesting to children. The learning environment in high scope programs has characteristics that are welcoming to the children. It provides enough materials for all the children. It allows the children to find, use, and return materials independently. So in a high scope setting, you will see labels and bins that are labeled, and the kids, they're able to match it with whatever they're playing with. They're able to put it back in its appropriate place, and this encourages them to be independent. So this is what the high scope is all about. It allows children to easily see and move around all areas in the classroom. It is flexible so that children can extend their play by bringing materials from one area to another. And it also provides materials that reflect the diversity of children's families and their lives. I want to talk about what happens in the high scope day to day. So high scope classrooms follow a predictable sequence of events known as their daily routine. This provides structure with children can make choices and follow their interests and develop their abilities in each content area. Each high scope program decides on the routine that works best for their individual setting, schedule, and population. So back to what's most unique about high scope. A Like I said previously, their plan, do, review. This is their 3-part sequence. This is specifically unique to high scope approach. It includes a 5 to 15 minute small group time. During that time, children plan what they want to do during work time. And then the do part is 45 to 60 minutes work time for carrying out their plans. And then there's another 10 to 15 minutes allotted for small group and reviewing and recalling what they did. Generally, the older the children are, the longer they're more detailed in planning, and the review times become much longer. During this time, children are very active and purposeful during their due time, because they've taken the time out to plan exactly what it is that they want to do, and they execute it. So the children, they're required to follow their initial plans, but often as they become engaged, their plans shift or they may change completely. So in all, the high scope approach definitely encourages active learning. The teacher's role is a nurturing role, and they're actually learning alongside the child. They're facilitating the child through the activities that the child is engaged in. The high scope approach, they are concerned in truly what the child is interested in and have materials that spark their interest and keeps them engaged. The high scope, they want the children to be independent and be very involved in their learning. It's like a student-led learning type approach, and I think it will be very beneficial to any program. So thank you for watching. That is my overview about the high scope curriculum. I think it's a great curriculum. Thank you for watching. Bye.